Hey guys, this is Travis with Windish RV Center here in Fountain, Colorado. Got an interesting video here for you today. We're going to pit the two new Montanas, the High Country and the regular Montana, against each other. We've got the 290RL High Country floor plan, and we got the new 3100RL Montana. We're going to go through the differences, maybe some things that they've changed from the outgoing Montana models. Try to figure out which one might be best for what you're looking for. Some things we like, some things that we'd like to see a little bit different in the trailers. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so starting off with the 290RL, both of these models, the 290RL High Country and the 3100RL Montana, are both designed complete from ground up. They look nothing like the outgoing models. They sit on a wider chassis now. They're both wide bodies. Something we've been asking Montana for quite some time. So they did their due diligence, tested all these different frames and all that good stuff. And what we see now is a pretty drastically different version than the outgoing model. So the High Country before, was quite a bit lighter weight, had electric jacks, but now we've got hydraulic leveling on these, hydraulic slide rooms. So they've beefed that quite a bit up. But we'll start going through some of the differences here. We'll start right up here. So this is going to be the pass-through storage compartment on the 290RL. We're still going to retain some of those nice features like slide switches on the interior here, awning switches, all that good stuff. TV hookups to have an outdoor TV, but nice pass-through storage. It's not going to be quite as deep as the 3100, but still very, very good pass-through storage. Another big difference between the 3100RL and the 290 is going to be the suspension that they're on. So they both got beefed up from the previous generation. This one, the High Country, is going to run Kurt's slipper spring suspension. So they claim to be able to reduce shock from the road by about 20%. It seems to be a little bit more stable if you're doing a little bit of off-road, where it'll keep the axles parallel while you're going over uneven terrain there. So nice upgrade there. We do have anti-lock braking on both of these models, which is going to be a nice upgrade there for safety perspective. But a lot of similarities on the outside. You still have the two nice big awnings on the exterior. A little bit different windows. We'll get into more of it when we go over under the 3100RL. So standard connection for your 50 amp cord. It is going to be the Safe View outlet. So it'll detect if you're having shore issues at the campsite or at the inside. It has a light that'll tell you if it's connected properly. All right, so this will be our front pass-through compartment, and a lot of changes from the outgoing model here. So we've got a Nautilus system to control, the water coming in, going out. Probably the biggest difference from this year compared to the outgoing model is now we do have a manifold system. So you're going to have your hot side on the right, and then you're going to have your cold side on the left here. So the big advantage to this is, if you got a water leak somewhere in your trailer here, that normally means camping is over for the trip there, because you'd have to replace the faucet. Now you can just isolate. If you've got a leaky faucet, you can just shut off just that faucet and keep going about your business here. We're going to have the manual pull handles here for your gray and your waste tanks there. Again, additional slide out controls for the outside. These will be the two slides on the driver's side of the rig. So again, it's nice to be able to run the slides from the outside, so you can make sure you're not going to hit anything along those lines there. New for Montana, these are all going to be Starlink prep. So anybody using some mobile internet, you are able to connect your Starlink directly into here and then connect to a modem on the inside. Again, just prep. You'll have to supply your own, but it does have that connectivity that a lot of people ask for. Everything's really easy to get to. This is a new addition. So whenever one of the big features we always like to talk about is like, hey, down the road is everything that's important easy to get to? And in this case, yes. If you sneak in there, camper guy. You got your water pump and all your water lines, really, really easy to get to. For this model, we're going to have 30-pound tanks on both sides. All your leveling controls are going to be done through here. This is going to be our front pass-through compartment. So your battery side's going to be on the right. The way we option ours in from the factory, we like to get that upgraded solar package. We bring it in with a 440i, the Discover package. That's going to include two 220 watt panels up on the roof, and it also includes this inverter right here. So this is going to be a 3,000 watt inverter wired to some of your outlets on the inside, which we'll get to what's wired once we're on the inside of the trailer, but there is a couple on the exterior here as well. Solar charge controller, things along those lines. Big thing I like about Montana is they do, if you really like to get into the solar stuff, they make them very expandable down the line. If you wanted to add a couple more panels, an additional solar charge controller, even an additional inverter, everything's prepped to do that, so you can really make them fit how you want to use them. With both products here, they're going to run this upgraded, kind of new style current Helix pin box, so just going to dampen a lot more of that road vibrations and force coming into the trailer. So we've had a lot of success with this hitch. People really seem to like it. All right, we're inside the 290RL High Country. I'm going to point out a couple of things that are pretty similar between both products. Starting with this table. So the table, it's a new design here. This portion here is going to pull out for extra seating going across. And the whole assembly moves left or right if you wanted to utilize this as a workspace. You don't have your computer set up. Be able to stare out this big window right here. So very multifunctional, very cool layout here. So we're going to have these traditional window shades. Pull down. Just be the blackout style here. Then over here, we're going to have multiple dimmer switches in this trailer. You got the one right above the two seats here. That does dim. Pretty traditional layout. You know, not too much stuff we really need to point out that's groundbreaking in here. It has the recliners that face the TV, and then it has the sleeper sofa. It's something, if you've looked at RVs for long enough, you've seen this layout a million times. But back here, something that's a little bit more unique is going to be the large pantry behind your entertainment. Moving on, I do like with this model here, not to jump around too bad, but this one has two max air fans up here, so get quite a bit of ventilation. Air getting pulled through here. I know a lot of our clients here in Colorado, when you get those nice mountain days, 70-degree days, it's really nice to just pull the outside air through here. It is prepped for a third AC. This one just has the two on it currently, but it is prepped for a third if you prefer to have 3 air conditioners. A little overkill for this climate here. But yeah, so big improvements on some of the finishes here. So again, I really like how they retain good countertop space on both sides of the oven. This is going to be a very large oven. It is a 3-burner here. Traditional microwave, nothing too crazy with this guy here. Obviously residential size. And then back here, really nice backsplash. So it's a true backsplash. It doesn't feel like one of those things that's just gonna kind of fall down on you. It has a really nice look to it, easy to clean. Like I mentioned before, there's some outlets in here that are gonna be powered off the inverter. They're pretty clearly marked, where we're going to have inverter prep on there. Those are GFCI. Nice big fridge. Everybody wants to see the fridge. We'll take a peek there. And speaking of solar, so we're currently not hooked up to any sort of battery. It's a nice, bright, sunny day. So all the lights, the fridge, everything you're seeing is we're just currently running off the solar. So we think that's super cool here. All right, so nice pantry here, fully adjustable shelves, feel pretty beefy. All the straps are going to be steel on this guy here. All right, we got to talk about the sink. So the sink has several different functions to it. So over on the right, it comes with this little strainer here. And then this guy right here, this is going to be sort of a veggie rinser, all that good stuff. Still have the traditional pull-down faucet. This is a cup washer over here, soap dispenser. All these are going to remove. That could have been done more gracefully, but nice big sink when you take all these out. So you can kind of compartmentalize them, or you can just run them as is. We're gonna have charging towers on both sides here. And it does wireless charge on the top, but if you've got kind of an uneven phone, they can be a little, I've noticed they can be a little tricky to get actually powering your devices there. This will be the bathroom, so they've done a nice job in here. You do have a seat. Everybody asks about the seats. Nice big linen closet here. Some storage underneath. So this will be the bedroom. Obviously, it's the bedroom. Anyway, but you'll have windows that open on both sides here to get that cross ventilation, and then the window right over here. Also get some cross ventilation through here as well. They set it up a little bit different. One thing I'd definitely like to point out on both of these, that's pretty important. If you walk through a few similar floor plans, I encourage you to take a look at this area right here where I'm standing. Generally, most frames kind of have a little bump up at the very top, so you kind of end up with this ledge at the very top or very front of your trailer that's kind of an ankle breaker. It makes it kind of hard to get back here. Whereas this, they're able to run flush all the way through. You'll kind of see that with the closet here. There's a lot more room, completely flush up here, so again, a little bit more usable. This is a king-size bed, which is nice. All right, so in recap here, the 290RL, who I see this is for, would be somebody doing, probably some extended stays. That sort of comes along with Montana territory in general, but I think this one's set up a little bit better for, more the camping side of that. It's going to be lighter weight than the 3100 here. It's a little bit shorter overall. And it's got the extra vents inside for ventilation through here. So you're able to minimize your use of the air conditioner and things along those lines there. So I think this one is a little bit, still kind of on that camping side. It's crazy to call like a 35-foot residential style fifth wheel kind of still more of a camper, but I think that's more, if you feel like that's more what you kind of line up with or what you're wanting to do, I think this is probably a little bit better option for that. Again, lighter weight. We're going to have more stuff for off-grid use, things along those lines there. The things that I'd like to maybe see different in this guy here, it's going to be a little nitpicky because we're just going through this. I'm like, man, that's not really a ton to change. And this is, again, just my opinions here. I would like to see these compartments right here be able to open. Seems like there maybe is a little bit of unused space right here, and that's something that they do have on the 3100 here. I think, I don't know, I've had this debate quite a bit. Some people really like a window right here. I think they just kind of get dirty. Maybe I'd like to see a little bit bigger oven, one of the more of the residential styles, but these also work really good from an off-grid perspective as well. And then microwave, probably like to see a convection there. So that's kind of my critiques of this guy. It's not too much to critique. I think they've done a really, really nice job. When they went to the wide body layout, definitely gives it quite a bit more room. Especially like on this side of the island in the bedroom, they've done a really, really nice job with this brand here. So really, really excited. But yeah, that'll be the 290. Let us know what you think in the comments of this one, and then we'll jump right back over to that 3100. All right, so now we're in front of the 3100. This is going to be the big brother to what we were just in, the 290RL. We'll kind of we might bounce back and forth. We might not. It depends on what the editor wants to do here. So the Montana is going to be the higher end version of the High Country. Sometimes we get there can be a little bit of confusion, especially with, people that might be familiar with trucks. The Chevy High Country is higher end than their other trim packages. Not the case with this here. The Montana is the luxury fifth wheel here. So again, everything redesigned from the ground up on this guy. Wider frame, it's a taller frame. This, we'll show the specs on screen here, but this did get a little bit of a weight increase. So we'll show the specs. So this is definitely for a 35-foot trailer, a little bit on the heavier side. So keep that into account. See if it kind of lines up with what you're looking to do. But we'll get straight into it. Some of the differences here, you're going to notice all your windows are going to be square. on this guy. It has a really nice clean look there. And then also your baggage doors are going to be square on this unit here as well. And that comes into play right in here because they have a standard pull-out tray. So since they went with a square door, they're able to utilize more of the space. When you have a rounded door, you kind of get a little bit of room that you can't run the tray out, but this thing is it's going to come all the way out. It does go out both directions here as well, so really nice. I love a tray. That way stuff doesn't just get lost in the middle of the storage compartment there. And then in here, this is also a sneaky feature here. So for those of you that like a little outdoor entertainment, got this. It'll lock into different positions depending on where everybody's hanging out. Before I kind of push this in here, similar to the 290, we're going to have outdoor switches for our slides and awnings. They're going to be just right here and through here. This is inverted here. So another big notable difference is going to be the type of suspension that they use. So the 290 is going to use the new Kurt slipper style system, which is, you know, great. It's a fantastic suspension system. This one's going to be a little bit burlier here. This is the Kurt touring coil suspension here. So it's going to have dual struts, a spring. So there's just quite a bit more dampening force, especially when you pair it up with the Kurt Helix pin box in the front. They just seem to pair really well. What I generally hear is about 40% reduction in road force coming here. Also has anti-lock braking on this guy, so that's something that is shared between both of the products. This is a little sneaky bit here. So they utilize that extra space in between the frame for a little bit additional storage here, which is fantastic because that's usually just completely unused space. These guys come out, you can organize depending on what you're putting back here. Take these out, switch them around. So really, really nice use of space. Really glad that they did that. Still has that tow receiver back here. Again, 300 pounds on that guy, 3,000 pound trailer weight. Another difference here, so instead of just having the normal plug-in here, this is gonna have a power cord reel for your 50 amp, which is a really handy feature if you've ever had to wrestle one of these 50 amp cords. They're a bit to wrangle. So this is just all electric. You press a button to unwind and wind it back into the coach there. Kind of a similar thing, a lot of similarities between the 290 and the 3100 here from, you know, a usability standpoint here. They do move the water into its own separate bay with its own separate door here, but it still has that manifold system that I like so much from the 290 RL. Still has the Nautilus, but again, everything's super easy to use, really easy to get to on this product here. Another difference between the 3100 is this does go to the electronic dump valve. So instead of having the pull handle to release your dump valves, this one you just hit a switch. So nice little upgrade going over to the 3100. A little bit more propane on the 3100. It is a 40-pound bottle on both sides, so 80 pounds total with this guy. All right, pretty similar setup up here, but we got a couple additional doors now. So we've got this top deck here for storage. We'll go inside before we do. This one comes with this nice little latch here for anybody that may be a little bit more height challenged. It can be a bit of a reach to get to this top one, so they have this latch extender here. So when your stairs are up, it'll be a little easier to reach up there. But let's go on in. All right, now we're in the 3100 RL. So you're gonna notice pretty similar layout, a couple differences, little bit different interior palette. Still has that kind of natural wood look to it, which I really like quite a bit. But they contrast that with more of a white on the side here. So really nice look. I really like the look of these here. They, you know, it's a modern look without being so gray. You know, a lot of the trend lately has been everything gray. So I'm glad I'm a natural wood kind of guy. So enjoy that quite a bit. First off, we'll start here. The slide-out boxes are taller in the 3100. You're going to have a little bit more headroom up top, so that's going to be a nice advantage. Again, that table setup that we talk about in the 290RL, same thing. This guy pulls out, and then you can still use it as a desk on either side there. But definitely a big difference is going to be the windows on this guy here. So this will have, it doesn't have the kind of traditional blinds or anything like that. And, it's that square window. Doesn't have the valances up top, anything like that. So this will have these for pull-down shades here, which is really nice. So the windows that do open will also have a screen on them as well. But again, very similar layout to the last one. Furniture is a little bit upgraded from what we were in before. The recliners now are, power recline, heat and massage on these guys. Material feels pretty similar between the two. And then again, we have that same setup with the rear couch being a trifold sleeper sofa. These do open, so you get a little extra storage right there. Similar setup with the hidden pantry back here. They do doll it up a little bit, so your shelving up here is going to be adjustable, and then you do have these really nice drawers down here. This unit also comes with the stick vac and subwoofer. They're just not pictured here. With the 3100, we do upgrade to the residential oven here, so the 4-burner. So if that's important to you, it might give you a couple points over to this guy here. We got some parts from the manufacturer for the microwave here, but this is a convection microwave. So big thing that they wanted to do, and an upgrade I really, really like on this product here is going to be your solid surfaces. So this is going to be, if you could touch this, it has a very, very nice feel to it. I really do like the colors running through this. It all matches up with the backsplashes. Your backsplashes are going to be solid surface there as well. So I really do like the look of it. Again, that's subjective, but I think it does have a really, really sharp, classy look to it here. With this guy, and then in here you're going to have the dual layer freezer. So this is also going to have an ice maker in it. This is still a 12-volt refrigerator, so it's still an RV refrigerator. But this one does pick up an ice make in, just like in that 290RL, we're just running off of solar right now. So we do not have a battery hooked up. We're just using what the sun's giving us right now. But yeah, nice storage up here, really nice beefy struts. Since those slide outs are so tall, you just get quite a bit of extra storage here. A little bit different with the pantry. Well, pretty similar actually. They're both fully adjustable shelves. I believe this pantry might be a smidge wider. Couple sneaky additions here. So you've got your coffee cup hangers right here, and then you've got a wine glass holder right there. So kind of nice. I will say, compared to the 290, if I was given, since you guys can't touch these across the video here, the doors, like specifically this pantry door here, and then some of these cabinetry doors here, they feel a little heavier. It's going to be all solid wood cabinetry, all that good stuff. It does have a really solid feel in here. Obviously, there's a weight difference between the two coaches, and that's kind of part of it there, right? Solid cabinetry, all that good stuff. But the way they mount all these cabinets and stuff, they're running a thicker stud than usual behind all the cabinetry, so there's a lot more for it to bite into. So everything just feels really, really solid in this new 3100 here. Like your grab handle here, very, very steady. So big star of the show is definitely going to be the bathroom here. This is in that 35-foot fifth wheel category. I've seen probably a million of them. This is probably the best bathroom I've ever seen in one of these. It's very large. You have a ton of countertop space. It's got a really nice medicine cabinet here. Full towel bar, great linen storage. It's a very, very nice, spacious bathroom. I definitely appreciate it. I'm a little bit taller. I have no issue with the headroom in this guy here. So first thing we'll take a peek at, it's going to be right behind. So you've got a safe and sort of some jewelry storage, some hanging doodads there, if you will. And then laundry hamper is going to be right here. And a little extra drawer right here. So this guy, we got an additional fireplace up here in the bedroom. So this is going to do very, very good at utilizing a lot more electric heat to maintain the internal temperature of the trailer. And again, I sort of chatted about it on the 290, but there is just a ton of room on this side of the bed. There is no kind of weird little toe kick, anything along those lines. So both sides of the bed are very, very easy to get to. So for making the bed, all that good stuff, it's a lot easier to get to. And then we've got still nice solid surface counters here, overhead light, very nice, what do you call it, sconces, very nice sconces there for reading. And here we'll have a light up hanging rack here. Yeah, just a ton of space in there. All right, and then if you want to do a washer dryer, that'll be your washer dryer closet there. All right, so that was the 3100. Very, very nice looking coach. They improved quite a bit on their strengths from the previous generations, and then really just flipped the script. This is a very, very nice trailer. Feeling it and touching it in person, it has a very nice feel to it. Everything just feels super, super solid. So what this trailer is for versus the 290, I think this one's a little bit more for, your full-timers, extended stayers. It's a heavier coach to move around, and it's a little bit less set up for, if you didn't want to use your air conditioners. Probably one of my gripes is there's less possible ventilation in here. Less of your windows open. You still have windows in every corner that do open for crossflow, and you have your fan, but one of my gripes, this does not have a power roof fan here. You still have your fan for over the range that pulls out, but I'm pretty fond of those Max Air fans. So that would be maybe something I'd like to see a little bit different on that guy there. The window blinds, they do have a really, really nice look to them. I'd say I'm a little bit more partial to the traditional day-night roller shades, so then you can kind of have that sheer blind during the day. I like those a little bit more. They tend to rattle a little bit more, so there's kind of some pro and con there as well. Again, that's an opinion. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Let us know what you think of this trailer. It's very, very impressive. The fit and finish is just absolutely incredible with this trailer. Again, it's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit longer than the 290 RL. So again, probably something that is going to be used more for kind of extended stays rather than camping. But again, I don't get to tell you what you use your trailer for, but that's just kind of what I see this being a good candidate for. So let us know what you think in the comments. We appreciate you watching the videos. And until next time, I'm Travis with Windish RV Center here in Fountain, Colorado. Talk to you later.